Alright, what is going on, everybody? Today is a big day, and it finally happened. The Senate Banking Committee voted to advance the Clarity Act to the full Senate. And they are setting up or targeting a signing date for July 4th, which is 4th of July, Independence Day, in America's 250th anniversary. And this is without a doubt the biggest step towards the first real federal crypto framework in US history. It's much bigger than the Genius Act. So stick around for today's video and let's dive right in. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage back with another crypto update. My voice is already gone, so bear with me, but let's dive right in. So we had an amazing article put out by iTrust going over the Clarity Act advancing. So we're going to go over all the need to know. And then after this, we're going to run through a bunch of recent Ripple and XRP news. So what you need to know is that we have the Clarity Act now heading to the full Senate floor. We know for years that crypto has been scattered, fragmented. We have a bunch of regulatory agencies just arguing and debating on and on. Obviously, we know the XRP lawsuit that lasted forever. We had Coinbase with the Wells notice. We had Kraken with the staking program. And then even Paxos with their stablecoin. And with the Clarity Act, we have clear definitions for digital assets, for stablecoins and rewards, and a clear division of oversight between the CFTC and the SEC. We have standard expectations for companies, a stable environment for builders, and more confidence for investors, specifically traditional finance. And think about it, for a bunch of companies or somebody building the new sexy app or new use case, they didn't have confidence to do it in the United States. They didn't want to go to investors, get a bunch of funding, and then potentially get shut down or get fined. So this is going to be opening up the doors to a lot, not to mention the trillions of dollars in traditional finance. So we know the United States has been slow, not to mention this. Places like the European Union, Singapore, and the UAE built regulatory frameworks while the United States stayed in debate mode. So this led to a bunch of crypto talent going overseas, a bunch of even crypto companies going to other jurisdictions where they had clear guidelines. And we can see here that they finally made up their mind on the stablecoin compromise. So what is this? It basically means for stablecoins that you are not able to get yield on idle holdings. So any holdings that are just doing nothing don't serve a purpose. So they don't want stablecoins to function like a bank deposit. However, get this, you can get rewards for active participation. So whether that's from transactions, governance, validation, and platform use. And this is setting the stage to standardize even staking rewards for utility networks. Alright, so what happens next? Because we still have several steps that remain before the Clarity Act can become law. So first, we need the Banking Committee to reconcile their text and create a unified version of the Senate bill. Then we need a full Senate vote with 60 votes, meaning that we would need to have 7 Democrats. And then the Senate bill needs to be reconciled with the House-passed version that passed all the way back in July. And once both chambers pass the identical text, the same bill, the bill goes to the president for signature. So we're going to find out this summer on America's 250th anniversary. Will the United States become the crypto capital of the world? And we also got 2 new listings on iTrust. So first, we have WorldCoin along with Tron TRX. And a big thanks to iTrust for this article, just putting all the information together in the perfect order. And you guys know the deal, iTrust is linked in the top of the video description along with the first link in my link tree. And this is where I've had my Roth IRA since January of 2020. And hats off to everybody that already has an account before the Clarity Act passes. Alright, so let's dive in. So first up, we have Brad Garlinghouse over at XRP Las Vegas, pointing out that the XRP ledger has done over 4 billion transactions since inception. I shared a screenshot of the Pi Cycle Top indicator just highlighting the golden crosses that we've seen in the past. So we haven't had a Pi Cycle Top since 2021, and the same thing can be said about Bitcoin dominance crashing. We haven't had an alt season since 2021. And to form another golden cross like the last 3 in 2013, 2017, and 21. Price action would obviously have to go up a lot in order to pull those moving averages up. Just like we can see during the previous 3 cycles, moving averages go up, price action goes up. Next up, we have the company Ripple Prime, and we've been seeing them everywhere, obviously in the recent TTCC article, and they just got underwritten by Neuberger for a $200 million loan, or basically like a line of credit. So again, friendly reminder, Ripple Prime is legit. So they're going to be using the $200 million to continue to expand and grow institutional relationships. So this $200 million is basically to let Ripple Prime lend more capital to institutional clients. And a little bit more about Neuberger they have down below, we can see $155 billion of investor commitments, 500 professionals, a part of their team, and 17 offices globally. And looking at their website, we can also see over $12 billion has been deployed. So the TLDR is the more capital, the more money in Ripple Prime means that there's better lending capacity or more money to loan. The more money there is to loan, that means that you can get a lot more institutional clients onboarded. The more institutional clients means you get more volume flowing through the XRP ledger, or even the Ripple US dollar on Ethereum. Alright, next up, so we talked about Korea, I think like 2 videos ago with K-Bank, which was the exclusive banking partner for Upbit, and we were kind of speculating on when or if Upbit is going to be listing the Ripple US dollar, and Upbit is the largest exchange in South Korea. And we also got some news right back in Korea related to Kyobo Life Insurance, one of Korea's largest and most established life insurance companies. God, my voice is absolutely gone right now. And Ripple partnered with them to pioneer Korea's first tokenized government bond settlements on blockchain. And this is going to be powered by Ripple Custody, which is a big deal. Now, insurance companies are some of the biggest holders in the world of government bonds. And usually regulators make it a law or make it a rule for them to hold safe, liquid assets to back their policy. So today in the modern financial system, and I wouldn't really call it modern, I think we're heading towards modern, but more so just referring to traditional finance. When bonds change hands, settlement takes 2 days or a couple days. So usually T+2, and during those days, capital's locked up and counterparty risk exists. And obviously with Ripple Custody, settlement is happening in near real time, like they say. So for an insurance company managing billions and billions of dollars, this is a huge advantage in terms of just overall capital efficiency. So Kyobo Life Insurance has $92 billion in assets, and they're joining Ripple Custody. And we usually know the order of things that are happening. Ripple usually starts with custody, then they roll out stablecoins and payments, and that's pretty much what aligns with even just seeing the Ripple US dollar being listed on Coin1, another South Korean exchange, and why I believe we see Upbit list the Ripple US dollar. And the whole point of this is really start paying attention to what Korea is doing, because they're building a serious digital asset stack. So we already know for bond settlements or whenever, a bond changes hands, it is T+2 days through the Korea Securities Depository. And now we have the company Ripple Custody piloting near real-time settlement with Kyobo, one of the biggest life insurance companies in Korea. And last but not least, directly in that article that Ripple put out, we can see down below I highlighted, Ripple will also power Kyobo to explore stablecoin-based payment rails. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.